And we're continuing with live readings from my book, Loving Life, All of It, A Walk with Cancer, Compassion, and Consciousness. And we're on Life Lesson 5, Be open to love and allow it to flow freely. I am open. Journal entry, January 10, 2011. It's an update about being adopted. On this day before surgery, I'm doing great. More deep awarenesses surfaced this weekend. Bottom line, I created such a story about being given away, which I know was not the case. It was just a story I created that I didn't trust anyone, including myself. A paradox. I wanted to please everyone so they'd like or love me, but I wasn't able to receive that love because of the wall of protection that I'd created. So, the learning to receive love during this journey has been profound. And the visuals of allowing the circle of light from everyone who loves me to actually merge with my light to create a unified river of light has been getting clearer and clearer. The fears and judgment my mind created about other people's love, caring attachments was such a huge story I carried. Then I saw that as my love for myself intensified and my light became brighter, the love from everyone around merges with me, and any attachments, fears, etc., from their end just poof away, and only love remains. Pretty cool. Now my vision is to allow all that love into every cell of my body. So tonight, it's a love fest. And you're all invited to send as much love, light, and prayers as you can until you just burst with laughter because you're so full of joy yourself. I had done a lot of inner work around my adoption. So this was just another opportunity to go deeper and lovingly embrace yet another fear that was still in my body. It was an opportunity to awaken another color in my rainbow pyramid. As I close my eyes, my awareness descends into the memories of my past. I travel beyond these memories into a field of feelings and images. There are no conscious thoughts, only associations that my mind assumes to be real. Imagined or real, these associations became part of my experience. I sensed myself as an infant. I could see myself in a crib, in an orphanage, with no mother to care for me. Feelings of vulnerability surfaced from within as I imagined a baby lying in a crib, crying, alone. My mind was creating this association. Was that truly the situation? I now know from stories my parents have shared with me that I was never placed in an orphanage, but remained in St. Monica's Hall, where I was born. I stayed there in the care of nuns who thought I was adorable and showered me with loving affection and attention. Regardless of what really happened, my mind's story is what I carried within me until I became aware that it was a fabrication. As a result, my actions and choices throughout my life had been governed by these unconscious feelings of vulnerability. Sharing love with others from the inside out has always been easy for me. Receiving love from others from the outside in has not been easy at all. This awareness was huge. It offered me the opportunity to be more open and less protective or fearful about receiving love from others. Somewhere in my past, I must have intertwined the meanings of the words vulnerable and open. The Encarta Dictionary defines these words as vulnerable, one, without adequate protection, open to physical or emotional harm. Two, extremely susceptible. Three, physically or psychologically weak. And the word open is one, not closed or locked, allowing people or things to pass through freely. And two, allowing access to inside. As I explored the stories I had created to protect myself from feeling vulnerable, the less attached I felt to other people's perceptions or judgments about me. There was a confidence, an inner strength growing within me. It was as if it was as if my inner mother was awakening to take care of me. Now I could see, feel, know, and trust that it was safe to be open and receive love. My protective shield of fear began transforming into joy and light. My journey continued as more deep feelings held within my body came to conscious awareness. Journal entry, February 15, 2011. Since this is a sacred journey to love, I'm asking questions about why my body is feeling the way it does and noticing where the feelings are. Obviously, the nausea has been extremely present, and it seems to just sit in the upper part of my solar plex, the high intestines. Bridget, a very dear and intuitive friend, hugged me a few days ago and could feel the energy in that area as being really old. That night, I listened to the Dreams CD to help awaken some of my subconscious thoughts. What I remembered the next morning were the words, "I hate it. I hate it." Okay, now we're getting somewhere. John helped by asking more questions, and the awareness came that I've been holding on to the pain and anger of my first real love relationship, or what I created in my mind to be my first real love relationship. Again, that mind of mine. I didn't understand how I could have loved someone so unconditionally, and then they just dumped me for no apparent reason. Yes, it's a high school first love trauma drama. But for me, the recognition that this energy is still in my body is huge because now I see how many of my actions of giving, loving, and sharing may have appeared to be unconditional on the surface, when in truth, there was still a part of me holding on to the deep pain, anger, and confusion from my past. And the journey continues. Journal entry, May 27, 2001. No, excuse me, 2011. For the last couple days, it feels as if my body was really helping me to move even deeper inside, to bring the conscious awareness, that which I still had experience, excuse me, that which I still had to experience during this last phase of treatment. On May 12th, I was really in the flow and allowing things to happen without interfering, just trusting my guidance. I ended up at Touch for Health's free community clinic that they have every Thursday in Maplewood to meet a friend, Yogini. Of course, several beautiful connections happened there with people I would have never met that day, and the music seemed to be the common denominator. Then it was my turn to have a session on the table. Again, totally unexpected, but perfect. For the last few days, my arm had been present, talking to me. Perhaps the nerves are healing. Whatever the reason, I had a heightened awareness of my arm before getting on the table. And the arm is used for kinesiology testing to determine what needs to be addressed. Anyway, the bottom line is my body started playing with me as my arm would appear to test strong. But I could feel there was a slight movement and something to address. So I told Norma, the practitioner, let's go in. Amazing that the words holding down emotions, courage, confidence, apathy, worthiness, unmerciful. My old belief that freedom equals death because of my cellular memory of conception were all coming up. It felt like I was dusting off my insides from little threads of old beliefs that have dislodged and untangled, but were still just floating around. My blinders opened even more around my old paradigms of balance. Norma shared many stories with me that day around the words that surfaced as part of my session. Then, as I was getting ready to leave, she said, I don't know why I have to tell you this story, but I do. And here's my abbreviated version. A well-known and wealthy woman dies and goes to heaven, where she meets St. Peter at the pearly gates. As they begin to walk, she notices a door to the right with her name on it. She asks St. Peter if she can open it. At first, he says no, but she pleads. Why not? It has my name on it. It's for me. He goes to ask whether it's okay and comes back with permission. When she opens the door, she discovers a massive room filled with beautifully unwrapped gifts from floor to ceiling, stretching as far back as a football field. She asks if she can open them, and St. Peter shakes his head. No, these were all the gifts you were offered while you were still living, but you chose not to receive them. I got it. The lesson of receiving runs very deep for me. And it hooked up with the beginning of my session when the words holding on and so many emotions came up for me. I've been resisting fully experiencing my emotions, my love, my dream. I knew something had shifted deep inside that day. Beneath the idea of opening myself to receive was also the issue of trust. Do I trust that I am worthy to receive? Do I trust what others are offering to give me? If I receive something from someone else, do I owe them something in return? Can someone truly give without any expectations? As these questions floated around in my mind, I knew they were unconsciously driven by my feelings of vulnerability rather than openness. My feelings of being exposed and the idea of other people truly seeing me was frightening, since I didn't know what they would find. There were so many things still hidden and repressed within me. How could I trust others when trusting myself was the issue? As I began trusting myself and my choices more often, the doubts and questions about other people's motivations melted away. What mattered was my connection to myself. The more loving and accepting I was to myself, the easier it was for me to receive love from others. In the quiet time for reflection, if you feel comfortable moving into this experience, close your eyes and take a deep breath in through your nose. Hold for a few moments, and then exhale through your mouth slowly. Just do this a couple times. And when you feel calm and relaxed, allow the word open to come forth from within you. And how does that word feel to you? And take a few moments and jot down what you're feeling, what awarenesses are coming forth right now with the word open. And then allow the phrase, be open to love and allow it to flow freely, to come forth from within you. And how does that phrase feel to you? Take a few moments and just feel the word open. And life lesson 5, be open to love and allow it to flow freely. And I'll see you next time.